going on, y'all? The reviewer is here, and I'm back to give y'all this album review of Boss King. Album is called Murder Verses. Y'all should know who Boss King is if you check out the last review I did of his called Political Views and Ghetto News. In case you haven't, I'll put that link in the description box. All right. This right here is his second debut album under Hoodoo Labs. This is probably, I think this is his last album that he came out with before he got out the rap game. So with that being said, I want to also say, if you haven't listened to Boss King before, he has like a very, I feel like he has a very unorthodox style of rap, and which I like, by the way, and I'll explain more of that on the review. All right, so this is the real CD here. Y'all should see the last review of Chopper Girl, $30, and I think I still have this video available to watch. If not, then I'll probably put it off private for a while. And there's also a second CD, which is the Chop and Screw version. All right, so let's get on with who made the beats. It was Caviar, H. Potter, J Dog, Walker Dog, Ron Mack, Moses, and Took from Guillotine. Then I'll list the features as we go through the songs. All right, I'm gonna zoom it in here. The first one is just a pimp tro instead of the intro. The next one is called Pain. This features Moses and Al Capone. And this is a really nice track. This samples Scarface, the part when Frank was trying to inform Tony about the drug game and stuff like that. It's a really nice track, man, and it features Moses, who comes through with a nice verse. Al Capone did his thing, and Boss King does well on there. And they talking about just flying straight, and you will stay out of the pain that people go through, you know what I mean, with the rap game, but it's a nice beat, by the way. The next one is called Something Shiny. This features Tone C and Pride. This song is probably, from what I'm listening, he's rapping about how these rappers get like these deals and all they got was a car and a house. That's all they got. They ain't got no other type of money or type of finances other than the chain, which is, something shiny. It's a pretty good track. It's a different content. I never really heard too much on this type of topic as much. Then the next one is called Negativity Sales, which is a pretty solid track. Boss King is pretty much rapping about those that raps about negativity, which means that their records sell a lot. If you talk about negativity instead of something different or positive, you know what I mean? And I feel him on that. I feel him on this track because that's how it is nowadays, especially nowadays. But don't let me get started on that. But it's a nice track though. The next one is called Gotta Get My Rhymes. Now this right here is one of my personal favorites off of the album. Boss King is talking about a funny story about how he was messing with some females. He left his lyrics where he did his thing, and he's like, oh man, I forgot to get my lyrics. So he had to go back and get his rhymes. So it's a different type of track, which I really like. This features a guy named Kupo. He's explaining the story too. So I feel like this track here is definitely one of my personal favorites off of the album. It's different. Then the next one is called Reap What You Sow. This features Six and Peach Drizzle. This is a pretty dope track, man. That beat is bumping. They're talking about, the situation they went through and the things that people done. You reap what you sow. You know what I mean? Like whatever you did in the past, it may come back to you, in some sort of way. The next one is, I'm gonna go down to FU. This track right here, this song was on the Memphis Drama Volume 2, Al Capone compilation that he brought out. This track is pretty nice, man. It's kind of dark, Boss King is pretty much rapping about a person that been through some crazy stuff in their life, and he's just saying F you, this, that, and the third. I'm not really into these type of tracks with profanity as much, but this is pretty nice, man. And then the next one is Between Nowhere and Don't Care. I love that title alone. This track is pretty much about Boss King telling a story about himself, about the things that he went through in life. He started off, being just broke and nothing to live for. And then until he realized that the way he was living wasn't the right way to do it. It's a really nice track here. And I like the title, man, Between Nowhere and Don't Care. I don't think anyone really had a title like this as far as I'm concerned. Then the next one is called They Call Me Boss. This is a good track right here. I like this one right here. Boss King is rapping in a way that's pretty lyrical, you know what I mean? And when every time he rhymes, he'll say, they call me boss. This to me should have been like a little single or a video he had made, because I feel like this could be a really good track for him. The beat is pretty solid, but he has the really dope lyrics. Then the next one, I'm gonna go down to The Rims Keep On Spinning. And this features Kilo and the Crunksters. Now, I'm not really into this type of content of music. Y'all know me, I ain't really into it. But this track is really nice, man. They're talking about rims and nice cars and stuff like that. The hook is really dope as well. I love that hook. The Crunksters came through with some nice verses, beat tracks, and freestyle. But the beat is nice. Boss King come through with a dope verse. He kind of raps a little fast on here. Does an awesome job, man. The next one is Wearing Your Welcome Out. And this features Chopper Girl and Chocolate Bunny. And this track is nice. Kind of like, this song almost sound like something for the club. When you hear the track, you wearing your welcome out. I've not heard that saying on the movie too. It's a different title of a song. Boss King is pretty much rapping about the club style, want to get buck or whatever. Then Chopper Girl comes through with a nice verse. I feel like this chick is really underrated, man, when she flows. I don't think she really came out with any music or any albums as far as I know, even though they said she was coming out with a solo and she probably just, chill out with it. But she came through with a dope verse though. I love her style. Good Dope and Liquor. This features K-Rock, may he rest in peace, and P Drizzle. This was one of those songs, it's like a very slow tempo song. This is one of those songs that I really didn't like at first, but then listening to it, I kind of, start to grow on me. The track is really nice. K-Rock came through with a pretty nice verse. P Drizzle did well. Boss King, he does, come through with a dope verse. And the beat is like I said, it's really slow. It just takes you in the zone, man, the more you listen to it. The next one is called Swingers. This features Haystack and Guillotine, which contains Took, Lunatic, and I think that's it. This beat was made by Took, Haystack. He raps the hook and then he does a little verse on there. He does pretty decent. Boss King come through with a nice verse, and Guillotine, Took, Lunatic, they come through with some raw, rugged verses. The beat is pretty nice, it's not bad. And then the last one is called Murder Verses. This features k-rino. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, this was the first time I was ever introduced to k-rino. But this track is pretty dope, man. Boss King come through with two good verses. And then k-rino finish off that track and rips the hell up on that song, man. The beat is pretty dark a little bit. And that's the last track of the album. So that's it. That's all the songs that I review for this album. The rate this here, out of a 10, I would give this album a solid 8 to an 8.5. So I'll give it an 8.25 out of a 10. Boss King, he does really good with the productions. Just some of the contents is different, you know what I mean? And like I said, his rap style was quite unorthodox, like I mentioned before. I feel like this album could have really done good with sales if the promotion game was on point. Not too many people really knew about this album. Like, the underground knew, but when it came to the mainstream, it didn't really got out there like that. And sadly, not too much people know about this album. I think people knew about his first album, but many people didn't know about the Murderverse's album. So with that being said, I think you should give this album a peep, especially if you're from Memphis or you're a Memphis fan, or I'll even go as far as a down south fan, because he does have some bangers on here, you know what I mean, and you might like it. You never know, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure you can listen to this album on the streams or digital platforms, but y'all know me, gotta have the physical copy, because you never know what could happen, man, in the near future. Y'all, you know, I don't want to get into much in depth, but anyway, shout out to Boss King for coming out with a good album. I know he's out the rap game. I don't think he raps anymore. I just want to give a shout out to him. Shout out to all the producers and all the features that was on his album. All right, so that's it. Much love to the real folks, and I'll be on here back with another review. All right. Peace out, guys.